Ladies and gentlemen, this is David Mirikitani with another episode of Weighing In. Excited to be brought to you by Nike Wrestling. Go to athleteps.com for all of your Nike gear. The new Inflict 4s are there. The Freaks are there. The best hoodies, the whole game. It's all right there. Resolite, the mat company, www.resolite.com. Those guys are killing it. They got the lightweight mats, the classic mats, the wall mats, the plyometric boxes, all of it. And Pure and Clean sports products, pureandclean.us. My guys over there, Ryan Freeman, Jake Buckner, they take care of Border Brawl. They take care of schools, clubs across the country. As we get into the high school, college season, Mark, you got to make sure you can stay on the mat. If you got the funk, the junk, if you're working out with somebody that does it, always show up with clean clothes. Pure and Clean will make sure they've got you. They've got the wipes where you can just, if you don't have time to, if you're going to take 30 minutes before you can jump in the shower on the ride home, they can make sure they keep you clean. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you, David?
I'm good. Been doing some traveling and now back for a little bit. We're going to talk about 133 today. And yesterday we did 25. I think what we're going to try to do going forward on these last 9 is at least show the bracket from last year. That's probably a mistake I made so people can see the past. It's been since March, so over 10 months or 7 months rather to the 10th month. And a lot's happened in the world of wrestling. But there are a lot of folks that watch this or listen to this, and they're mainly college wrestling fans, high school and college wrestling fans. You know, they have kids that wrestled or wrestle, and they don't follow the international as much as you and me, or definitely Grant does. So I actually got to speak to GT this afternoon over there. He's on his way back. So just told him how proud we are of him. So anyway, let's pull up the bracket from last year. I think that's for people that are watching. So your champion last year was Lucas Bird. He had that crazy first round match where he won 3-2. And then looked really good the rest of the way. He had a hard match with Seth Romney in the finals, or semifinals, who's now up at 141. And then he won the rubber match against Drake Ayala. Ayala looked really good, had a tech fall, a major, and a 6-1 win over Zan Fugit, who was maybe the surprise of the entire tournament, Mark, making the semis from the 14 seed with a decision, beat Nasir Bailey in overtime. Then he pinned Connor McGonigal. Your third place winner was Seth Romney, who had a great tournament from Cal Poly. He beat Fugit for 4th. Braden Davis from Penn State is up at 5th. We'll talk about Penn State in this weight class in a minute. Carter McGonigal, who graduated, was 6th. Jacob Van D, the surprise 7th place finisher, and Knox from Stanford was 8th. So then if that takes you over to the rankings, and here's Flo's rankings. So again, those names you hear up top: Bird, Crookham, Ayala, Fugit, Van D, Knox. Those are the 6 returning All-Americans that are back at the same weight. Then the next guys up: Dylan Chauver, Braxton Brown, Evan Frost. Those are the round of 12 guys. They did something here, Mark, and I think we should I'm very interested in talking about this. Then they put Marcus Blaze in, who hasn't wrestled a college match, but certainly his high school credentials are off the board. Then they put in Ben Davino, who is taking over for Buzakis, so that should tell you how good he is. Then they put in Figueroa, who was the national champion in 24 at 125, DNP'd and at 125 and 24, DNP'd in 25. And now where will he be in 26? Then followed by guys like Ethan Oakley, Julian Farber, Dominic Serrano, Sean Speidel, etc. Zach Redding's an interesting one, Mark. He's been to several places, including Iowa State. He's over at NC State for his last run. So you can see these names as well as I do. Just your initial thoughts on the weight, and then, just initial thoughts on the weight, and then we'll kind of get into some specifics.
Oh, it'd be a killer weight this year. I mean, you look at the top of the board, how we would have done it. Crookham was 3rd as a freshman.
He was third as a freshman with 2 wins over Vito Araujo.
Yeah. So I probably would have, if I was doing rankings the way we used to do it, Drake Ayala being a 2-time finalist, probably would have been the number 2 ranked kid. Not that he's going to finish there, but that's where we would have probably ranked him. And then it would have probably been Crookham and then, Fugit. So, but overall, I mean, you look down at that 9 through 14 area, David, you got some studs, absolute studs.
So let's get into this a little bit. Marcus, Blaze, thoughts? We're going to kind of alternate. I'll let you go first on Blaze.
I don't know. Things have changed so much in the last few years, David, that, with these young kids doing the senior circuit, like Jax Forrest just winning a U23 World. If he was a freshman this year coming in, David, it would be hard to rank him behind every kid that went to nationals last year because of what he's doing. Wrestling is still wrestling, and we both agree with that. I know freestyle is not collegiate, but wrestling, when you're wrestling top-tier guys in the world, does matter. And so I don't really have a problem with Blaze being where he's at. I mean,
would you rank him higher or lower than 10? Or
I'd probably put him right at the bottom of the returning All-Americans. So I'd rank him a little bit higher.
You'd have him at 7.
Yeah. And I think that's still, it's just, you just got to be consistent, and it's hard to be consistent when you're just looking at data on the senior. He has beaten some phenomenal wrestlers, even when he was in high school in the collegiate style. He beat Ramos from Purdue after Ramos beat Spencer Lee in a tournament. He's beaten pretty much everybody he's wrestled one way or another. So I have no problems with him moving up to number 7, starting the year.
I talked to Angel Cejudo, who was on a trip with them, and he talked about how fundamentally sound Blaze's defense was. He's like, he's so hard to get to, and we've seen that a lot. He took a loss at the U23s, which I think was shocking to a lot of us. We also have to remember that U23s, and this kid's probably 18 years old. It's the same thing with Jax. He's 17 or 18.
And he didn't wrestle at his best weight. He's a 61-kilo guy. He's a 33-pounder in college right now. He went up a weight to wrestle 65. It does make a difference.
I was going to get to that, so great point. 61 is 134.2. 65 is 143. For all the people that want to talk to me about the decimals of a tenth of a pound, you're correct, but just it's basically 2.2 to do quick math. So I think, and the other thing was, I talked to Howard Forrest a couple weeks ago, and Jax decided late to be on this team. He had the right as the senior world team member, and I won't go through all that criteria, but he had the right. But Blaze was prepping to go 61. So it's like, plus, if he's going 61 in season, essentially at 133, he's not going to inflate his body to then deflate his body for one tournament. So he was essentially wrestling up 8.8 pounds. But again, the overall thing, like you said, his hit list is unbelievable. His poise is unbelievable. He's beaten guys like Bassett. He easily, didn't give up a point and scored a 4-pointer that people have huge expectations for. I think Blaze is a guy that there's 3 guys here that I think could rock the boat, and the third one is going to shock you. Okay, but Blaze is one. The second one to me is Ben Davino. Okay, he was really good last year in that red shirt year. Mark, you and I, coach, were like JUCO was kind of a red shirt thing for some people. Hey, if the kid didn't make the grades, to send him to an Iowa Central. He wins nationals. You redshirt him the second year. He has 3 years, that kind of thing. Now with these 5 dates, right? Like, Angelo Ferrari essentially won the duel for Iowa against Oklahoma State. The year before, Gabe Arnold won the duel for Iowa versus Iowa State. And I'm picking Iowa examples, but it's just because I was at those meets, like in the building. So it's what you remember when you're there face to face or in person. But Ben Davino had really good appearances last year. And like all these kids, he was a winner in high school. But there's winners and then there's winners. Like a Marcus Blaze was unbelievable. Like a Luke Lillidow coming out, was a winner. Like we talked about him yesterday. I think Ben Davino is going to play. Let's put it this way. Like, I think Ben Davino is going to place at nationals, and I think Marcus Blaze is going to place at nationals. And so then I think you obviously have to pull two guys out of there that aren't going to place. There's only 8 All-Americans. And we'll get to our picks here in a minute, but I'm going to blow your mind with something.
Before you do, David, I want to get back to Marcus Blaze just for a second, because I don't think people understand how hard it is to teach to keep a kid in position for 6 minutes or for 7 minutes or for 10 minutes, however long he's going to be on the mat, to stay in really good position. It's something when we were coaching, we tried to keep our kids in good positions. These kids are so talented right now, and they have such a high offense with different types of shots going to both sides of the body. For him to be taught growing up how to stay in that position for an entire match and make it almost impossible to be scored on, and being able to score himself, is really an accomplishment to his coaching staff, the people that worked with this young man, because you don't see it anymore. You don't see kids staying in that kind of position. He's probably the only kid I can think of that's coming into his first year of college that stays in the position that he stays in. He's not going to beat himself. You're going to have to go out and beat him.
And 2 things to add on there. One, that's Scotty Burnett, who was an Iowa Central wrestler. So shout out to Scotty and to yourself because you were his coach. Number 2, I want to say this. As much as it's great coaching, I think it's a super important to give Marcus Blaze credit for discipline. Okay? I'm going to stop presenting here so we can see our faces better to each other. I think it's discipline because I watch my dad teach a lot of people a lot of things. I watched my dad teach me and my brother the same thing. We didn't do it the same way, and I think Scotty Burnett and the rest of those coaches that impacted Marcus Blaze probably taught keeping your elbows in and your hands, in front of you in the right spot and not too wide and not too close, and being willing to drop your head and being willing to take punishment. I don't think they just taught it to Marcus Blaze. I think Marcus Blaze decided I'm going to be special. And maybe he didn't have a ton of offense when he was growing up. Like maybe he couldn't get to legs. Maybe he wasn't super fast twitchy. And he said, well, if you can't score on me, I'm going to win a lot of matches. And I'm going to win matches being gritty. I was talking to Randy Couture the other day about the word grit and how that's an undervalued word. And just being like, if you say somebody's gritty, that's as a man to man, that's one of the best compliments you can give somebody, like just being tough and there for you and all those sort of things. So Blaze has skill, he has discipline, and he has grit. And those are 3 things you kind of want in your foxhole or on your team,
Agreed.
All right. So I'm going to say this, and then I'll go back to the things we're going to pick. There's a very interesting rumor out there, which we will find out about relatively shortly. And this is nice, like it's on YouTube. We don't have to say this is the opinion of anybody or not the opinion of anybody. I am hearing from very reliable sources that Jax Forrest is going to graduate in December and wrestle for Oklahoma State in January.
Wow.
You have a good poker face, Ostrander. So my jaw hit the ground when I heard that. And you and I have a side bet because we talked about this a couple months ago, and I said, I think he could win it. And you said, I don't know if he's good enough to be All-American. So we might meet in the middle. He might be a 3, 4, 5 guy. And to be fair, he's won more things since you and I had that conversation. So your opinion is certainly allowed to evolve. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, he hadn't won the U23 Worlds when I gave that opinion.
Of course, it happened yesterday.
And he
might not have made the senior world team back then. I'm just saying.
Probably, yeah. No, I agree. I remember the conversation, and I said I don't think physically he's ready to wrestle guys like Drake Ayala,
Lucas Bird.
Yeah.
Again, I hope I'm framing it accurately. It was at a spot in time, and things have happened that make what I said maybe more likely than what you said. But at that spot in time, I mean, who knows if it's right or wrong? We're going to find out. It might not even happen. But I'm just hearing that, and there's several things that are interesting to me there. Number one, wow, right? Just wow.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty much what I said. Wow.
Yeah, but I mean, just that. Number two, Figueroa. Can he transfer at semester? Because if he graduated, he could. And that's interesting because you think about this NIL stuff. Clearly, whatever they gave him, if they're not happy, is kind of a zero ROI situation. 3, what does that say to Ronnie Ramirez and Sergio Vega? Because I don't think Jax is the kind of guy that's going to redshirt. I think he might, and I say might, redshirt during that Olympic year.
2028.
The 27-28 season. Okay. Just for people that are following all this stuff. You know, and one of the low-key things that people don't think about is when Jax, and I think he got hosed if you look at the video, on the singlet pull for the third place match. But if he had taken third instead of fifth, clearly third's way better than fifth medal versus no medal, but he would have sat until Final X.
Yep.
That's the big thing. Like Spencer Lee doesn't sit till Final X. But let's stay on Jackson this. I think you're going to see some attrition out of Oklahoma State because they're just stacking guys. And they're stacking guys at weights where there's not enough possible red shirts to get everybody in.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you already saw it with Kellen Wolbert. Mikey White committed there, then decommitted there. And everybody has these decommitments. It's not like it's a one program thing. But it's interesting. By the way, I'm going to let these people announce it, but a pretty big time lightweight is going to make his commitment by the end of the week. So
good.
Keep your eyes and ears out for that. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being zero shock, 10 being really surprised, how shocked are you by the Jax story? And by the way, folks, I told Mark off the air that I was going to surprise him on the air. So
probably 9, 9.5, 10, 12. I'm just trying to figure out what is Figueroa doing sitting in the locker room today if he's heard this rumor saying, what the hell?
Well, my guess would be,
is he going to go down to 25 and say, no, I'm getting a spot?
Well, my guess would be this. Things are not ideal there between him and the program.
That's
right?
Well, I have no idea.
Well, no, I'm saying that's okay.
Yeah.
Let's work it backwards. If everything was great and he looked really good and he was working really hard and he felt like the coaching staff was really supporting him and everything was utopia and they thought he could win nationals, okay, then the only reason you do this is if Jack says, if I don't get to do this, I'm going to decommit. And Jax doesn't seem like that kind of kid. I've worked with him for Border Brawl. I work with Howard. They're super reasonable people.
Yeah.
They're very reasonable people for what they've won. They're very low maintenance, like common sense people. Okay?
I would have to guess, and this is just a guess, that this is something Jax wants to do.
Well, of course,
more than what Oklahoma State head coach. I mean, I think Jax probably. You don't think Jax brought it up? Said, "Hey, you know what?"
No. Listen, here's why I disagree. Jax wasn't even going to wrestle in the US Open, in the Senior Open. And he was training down there. And that staff said, you can win it. And that's with Dayton in the room. Okay. I mean, and the whole Dayton Fix story has kind of just gotten pushed in the background. Like, he's not the number one guy at Oklahoma State, and he's not the number one guy at that weight at Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Okay. And I love Dayton Fix. I love Derek. I love Mama Fix. Like, I love that family. They've been nothing but good to me and Randy. But that's another conversation. But they told him, you can win this tournament. Okay. Like, he was just going to do age group stuff. When I say just age group stuff, he just won the world championship. Okay. But he was just going to do age group stuff. They told him he could win it. Okay. Well, if you can win the U23 Worlds, if you can take 5th at the Senior Worlds, and you're a singlet pull away from being 3rd, and the only guy you lost to was Ugiev, or Ugaev, whatever the right way to say it is, I think, and this is where I think maybe you'd agree now that you've seen Jack's results, I think you win the NCAAs. I understand it's a different style. I understand it's more of a grind. I understand mat wrestling. I understand riding time. I understand it's harder to create a gap. I understand it's harder to create scrambles in college. Having said all of that, Jax is one of those cats. The first time you wrestle him, you're probably going to lose to him because he's a super weird feel.
Am I mistaken, David, or did Jax win his first PA state title this year?
Yep, you're right.
As a junior.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
But he'd also won Ironman.
I know he's won everything, but I'm just saying.
No, I know.
It's kind of funny that he just won his first high school state championship. He's already won world championships, and now he's going to go in as basically a 17 or 18-year-old going to Oklahoma State a year early and have a possibility of winning NCAAs.
Listen, I'm not comparing myself to Jax Forrest, but my freshman year I didn't place at state, and 4 months later I made the national finals. Okay, like, it can happen. You can make a jump. You can make a leap.
Sure.
And some of it's confidence, some of it's training partners, some of it's, like, for me, it was commitment. Okay, and I don't think Jax was not as committed as he should have been. That's a David Mirikitani change.
Yeah, yeah.
But whatever it was or is, it can happen. That's my point. Okay, so it can happen. And however it happened, it freaking happened. Like, bro, he's here now. Like, so, if you go back to look at the rankings, because, now we got to make our picks. I'll pull up Intermats this time to give them their, there it is. Now it popped up. Okay. And theirs are very, very similar. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's just kind of do this as a fact check. I'll go first. I feel like of this list, there's 3 guys that have All-American that I feel super confident are going to place again. That's Lucas Bird, Drake Ayala, and Ryan Crook. I'm assuming he can stay healthy. Okay. I am totally biased about Zan Fugit. He's a Missouri kid. I'm friends with his coach and family, and his dad's an awesome guy, and he wrestled in Border Brawl. But Frost has placed before, not placed. Van D was a surprise placer. Knox took 8th, certainly counts, but it's 8th. Shawver placed the year before and then didn't. Braxton Brown looked good up a year. And honestly, I think Ben Davino is going to place. But, I think Jax Forrest is as good as Ben Davino.
Are we doing our picks? Let's do our picks without Jax doing this because it hasn't been announced.
I'm doing my picks with Jax because I'm.
Oh, okay.
Because we're gonna, listen. You know what I know now. Okay, so I'm grabbing pen and paper. It will go into our documents for people watching.
Okay.
So, all right. You went first at 25. Do you want me to go first at 33?
That would be wonderful.
Okay. And what we're doing is our finalists and our All-Americans, right?
Yep.
Okay. My finalists are Jax and Bird. Okay.
Okay. Congratulations.
I don't know if that's a cause for celebration, but my All-Americans are Crookham, Ayala. These are no particular order, so people know. Davino, Fugit, Blaze, Frost. Unless I forgot somebody like yesterday, in which case I have the right to change my mind. Okay, that's 8.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do it without Jackson here,
That's fine.
and I'll repick if we have to later on. I don't want to do it because it's just like you said, speculation. There hasn't been announced. Would I put him All-American status without a doubt?
All right,
I'm gonna go
pick 9 guys, and Jax is one of them.
All right,
is that fair?
Jax be my 9th. Yeah. I'm gonna go.
Finalists?
I'm gonna go Ayala and Bird in the finals.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Crookham's an All-American. I'm gonna go Fugit's an All-American. I'm gonna say Tyler Knox is an All-American. I'm gonna say Blaze is an All-American. Davino's an All-American. How many do I got left?
You've got Ayala's 1, Bird is 2, Crookham's 3, Davino's 4, Fugit's 5, Blaze is 6, Knox is 7.
And then I'm gonna go with. Is there somebody down here? Can you go scroll down just a little bit, David?
Yeah.
I can't do it. There's somebody else I thought.
Okay. Bird, you picked. Ayala picked. Crookham, you picked. Fugit, you picked. Frost, you haven't picked. Van D, you haven't picked. Shaver, Braxton Brown. I mean, unless you're going to go way down here.
No, I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Frost. I think he has another really good year.
Oh, and listen, I forgot about this. I'm putting Blaze in my finals. Jackson Blaze.
Oh, you're going to do Jackson Blaze. Okay. How'd you forget that, David?
Because he wasn't on the sheet.
Oh. I have Blaze as an All-American.
I know, but I'm saying I was looking at these and he wasn't on this. They don't have him ranked.
All right.
All right, so here's where we both agree. We both have Frost as an All-American, Fugit as an All-American, Davino as an All-American, Crookham as an All-American. We both have Bird. You have him in the finals. I don't. Blaze is the flip-flop. And I have Ayala as an All-American. You have Ayala in the finals.
Yep.
So you have Knox. And there's somebody here I have that you don't have. Well, I'll figure it out because I got to put him
I don't have Jax, but we put him at 9 because he's, it's just speculation right now.
Because you're a coward.
I'm not a coward. Siriano, Serrano, I guess is how you pronounce it, from Northern Colorado. Didn't he win the Big 12s last year?
He did. And I was there. But to be fair, it was not a super deep weight. Okay. He looked really good there.
I thought so.
And he earned like a 5 seed. And that you see that, right? Like these guys are ranked like 14th, and then they win the conference. And the conference title is a big piece of the criteria. Mm-hmm. And it's also when the coaches are doing the rankings, they're like, okay, we'll take the number 1 guy, who was ranked number 1, right? Maybe I can't remember. I think Ayala was ranked number 1 going into the qualifying tournaments because he had beaten Bird he had beaten Bird, right?
I think they had, yes, he beat Bird. But then Bird beat him in the finals of the Big 10, yeah.
Right, but I'm saying Ayala was the 1 seed, okay? Yep. The 1 ranked guy. Then Bird beats him, so you go, okay, Bird's number 1. Ayala's been basically number 1 all year. He's 2. You kind of start looking. I mean, that's this is what we did at the end of the, like, as soon as the regionals are over, you got them all lined up next to each other. And where it gets wonky is like when Adam Kuhn one year was number 1 and then DNPs, and you're like, okay, what? I can't put him as the 10th best guy in the Big Ten.
Yep.
But assuming things are sort of traditional or they sort of fall in line, like there probably weren't that many places to go before you get to the Big 12 champ.
Yeah.
So, we'll get into more of those kind of things. So, but it's an interesting weight, right? Like
it is.
I mean,
and it's pretty deep weight, to be honest with you, David.
Well, we got a guy that won nationals that one of us thinks isn't going to start.
Well, that's because Jax is coming in.
I know, but what I'm saying is,
I would have put Figueroa in the top.
Well, you didn't put him in the top 8.
Well, that's because I got Jax at 9, and I can't have 2 from the same team.
You didn't put him in the top 8.
I'm not sure I would.
That's my point. That's my point. It's a deep weight. I'm supporting what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, Braxton Brown's really good, bro. And now that he's not at 25 killing himself to make weight, Dylan Chauver is really good. Like,
we'll find out this weekend. He wrestles Bird
at the All-Star meet.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll preview that on Friday.
Okay.
Because I'm going to be at a trivia night, and I told the people I'm bringing my laptop. All right. We're going to hang up and do 141?
David, okay.
All right. Thank you guys for watching and listening. Have a good day.